I'm just saying, though, he's not an exciting fighter. People are excited for the name because you attach your name to Floyd Mayweather because he's trying to be Floyd Mayweather. Devin Haney, you better get your own identity because we're going to knock the other identity out your ass come November the 22nd. That's what's going to happen. You feel what I'm saying?
Can you be too smart for your own fight? Because what Devin is planning for Brian Norman Jr. looks like chess until the board starts punching back. Devin can outthink almost anyone, but against Norman, thinking isn't enough. The so-called boxing genius only wins if he's willing to get ugly, stand his ground, center ring, and make chaos blink first. Welcome to Abner's Counterpunch. In November 22nd, in the co-main event to the Benavidez vs. Yarde fight, two quote-unquote unbeaten fighters, two opposite identities. Haney, 32 wins, technician, footwork, jab, defense. Norman, 28 wins, 22 KOs, pressure and left hooks like bad news at midnight. The stakes, the WBO welterweight gold and a claim to the division's new era. Odds are basically a coin flip. It's not who's better, it's whose reality are we living in, chess or a fist fight. Haney's whole life is built around real estate. He buys center ring, flips it for points. On the other hand, we have Norman. He's more like a landlord of corners. He doesn't follow, he closes. That's different. Watch the first minute exchanges. Haney gives you two speeds. Tap, tap, jab, slide, reset. It's clean. It says, I'm in charge. But Norman's read, it's simpler. If I touch the arms and ribs now, I touch the chin later. Technically, Haney wants three things. 1, fire the jab offhand feint to freeze the entry. 2, pivot out to his left when Norman's feet square. 3, keep his center ring to avoid those hook arcs by the ropes. Norman wants the opposite. Push Devin toward the long side of the ring. Cut off with the lead foot outside Devin's and step with the punch. Not reaching, stepping to make that left hook arrive while Devin's sliding right. When Haney bends at the waist, he's safe from straight shots but open at the middle for an uppercut. And he hates getting stuck there. Think of it like surfing. Haney skims the wave, plays with edges. Norman is the rip current. You don't realize you're getting dragged where he wants until the ropes are suddenly your backpack. It's not just foot speed, it's stop speed. Can Devin stop, plant, sting, then vanish before the return? If he can't, those hooks start writing the story. And what happens when the ref doesn't tolerate a lot of clinching? Because if grabbing isn't the parachute, Devin needs a new safety net. Let's talk about the punch that people love to bring up with Devin, the left hook. Pattern 1. When Devin circles to his right, his head can drift into the lane for an orthodox left hook. Pattern 2. When he dips low to slip a right hand, he is exposed to an uppercut, or he rises into the left hook if the opponent layers shots. Pattern 3. When hurt, Devin's instinct to reach and clinch extends his arms. Short check hooks can beat that reach. Devin's defense is so good it creates predictable escape routes. Predictable routes are easy to ambush. Norman's left hook is not just power, it's delivery. He doesn't wind up, he hangs it like a trap, then rips it when you step. If Devin is sliding right with his weight on the outside edge, that hook has a free runway. Let's look out for Norman touching bite to the head with the same arm. Hook to the ribs, then assuming Devin bends, hook upstairs. Or double hook upstairs to catch the exit. Also, Norman stepping with the hook, lead foot outside Devin's, shoulder line crossing Devin's center, so even a partially blocked shot moves Devin backward. Even if the hook is 60% clean, the optics win the round for Norman in a close stanza overseas. It's actually not about knocking him out cold. It's about changing Devin's decisions. You sting a guy like Haney 2-3 times early, he starts paying attention to the clock. If Norman lands the hook, what's Devin's answer that isn't clinch and wait? Because that answer decides the middle rounds. And here's where the internet gets loud. Devin runs. And look, I don't think he runs, I think he manages. But management can get you fired in the wrong office. In Saudi, atmosphere matters. If you're pot shotting, moving, and not engaging, you might not win the optics game. Judges remember the hardest clean punches, and Norman's are louder even when they grace. If Devin keeps it too minimal, can he still get the nod in a venue that wants action? That matters. Let's call it the pace trap. You set a pace so safe that you stop winning moments and only win ideas. Meanwhile, Norman wins the moments, and moments pay the bills on scorecards. So Devin's adjustment has to be intentional offense. Double jab that actually hurts, right hand that doesn't overcommit, then a level change exit. Don't drift long into the corner. Feints that make Norman punch first so Devin can counter off balance. Haney can't be 70% defense. He needs the kind of tidy violence that puts ink on the round. If he does that, he starts stealing the last 40 seconds of rounds. Steal the ending, you steal the memory. And if you steal the memory, you steal the card. People call Norman a brawler like it's a bad thing, but I disagree. He's a brawler with pretty decent IQ. Check the tape. Late round power didn't fall off in his big wins. He steps with the shots, doesn't chase with square hips, and once he feels your pace dip, his combinations turn mechanical. Body head, body head, body head, until something folds. He's not just swinging, he's walking you to the thing he wants. That's the scary part for Haney. You can win the idea of the round for 2 minutes, then Norman rearranges a kidney, and all anyone remembers is the breath you lost. However, unknowns exist. Norman hasn't lived in rounds 11 and 12 against an elite mover. If Devin Price opened those championship minutes, does Norman's foot pressure still cut angles, or does he start following? If the KO isn't there by 8, who's getting impatient first? That's the fight behind the fight. It's not about who's stronger, it's about who blinks on the plan. I see 2 swings deciding this story. The first swing is the early round, right? Can Devin convince Norman to respect the jab? Not touch, respect. If yes, centering is back on the lease. Respect comes from snap, not activity. The jab must disrupt Norman's step, not just his face. Add a quick backhand counter when Norman thinks he's timed the jab. Make him pay for the read. Devin landing a clean right to the body can buy him more air than a flashy headshot. The second swing, the first time Norman lands the left hook clean, what does Devin do? If he goes back to clinching, panic style, Norman layers hooks and uppercuts and sells the moment. Though if Devin fires back with a tight 3-piece and pivot to our left, he changes the vibe. He tells the room, I'm here to fight when I must. The ref factor matters. Are they strict on holding? Because that's a tax on Devin's instincts. If they're lenient, Norman has to punch through the grab. Will Devin's corner demand bite in the middle rounds, or will they accept survival banking on clean movement? That call might win or lose the fight. So here's what I want you seeing in real time. First, the space war. Center ring is Devin's oxygen. Corners are Norman's ambush. Every cutoff is a small death. Then the hook problem. Anytime Devin drifts right without punching, rewind, there's the danger lane. And finally, the pace trap. If Devin is too tidy, he might lose the moments that judges buy. Flip that by stealing the ends of rounds with tidy violence. If Devin is able to combine bite with brains, he can possibly drown Norman's power. But if Norman erases Devin's exits and sells 2 or 3 huge moments, he takes the belt and a reputation in one night. Simple, violent, honest. If this hits round 10 and it's even, who has the lungs to step into the pocket without blinking? Let me know what you think down below. Devin's boxing genius can win chess. Norman's power can flip the board though. The belt goes to the man who can convince the other to play the wrong game. And on the same card, see why David Benavidez versus Anthony Yarde is not a mismatch. Click here to see that video, and while you're at it, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next chaos we break down. See ya.